Hello everyone, this is Jeremy Hudson here with H&I Credit Solutions, and thank you for joining me today. If you're watching this video, then you're wanting to know a little bit more about what collection companies actually do. So we're going to take a closer look at what collection companies do. We're also going to look at what services do collection companies offer, and we're also going to look at how do they acquire accounts. Now, this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, go back and look at the other educational videos. And if you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and say something right now, is that I am all about proof. You know, I don't like talking about something and don't have anything to back it up with. I'm not going to stand up in front of a whiteboard and just write down a bunch of information off the top of my head. I really want to show you guys and actually prove it to you. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to go down here real quick and open up my Firefox browser. And uh, right here, I've got a collection company pulled up, and we're just going to skim through these real quick. I don't want to take up too much of your time. This particular collection company is called Rapid Recovery Solutions, and the services that they offer, let's take a look. Let's go back here. Let's go next page. Well, my cursor seems to be blocking up. Next page. Let's go to home, maybe about us. Home. See what we can find out. Free skip trace tools. Look at everything that they offer. Cash for settlement, deep skip trace, final demand letter, free skip trace tools. Let's look at deep skip trace. Let's see if we can find out what they're talking about. All right, deep skip trace. If you don't know what a skip trace is, a skip trace means that they're trying to find somebody. They're trying to find a consumer, and they're trying to locate them with any means possible. Let's look at some ways that they try to do that. They search for a skip's personal information using their social security number to obtain all numbers listed, verify social security numbers as being correct to assure the client for the collection process, and obtain new address. Directory assistance, address search, old and new, reverse search, which means that they may just type in their address or phone number and query it against their name or the owner. Area code cross-reference, search for all possible area codes with each number listed. They also make phone calls on numbers collected. They eliminate all the bad numbers, acquire place of employment. They obtain new information about the skip from relatives and roommates. So that's pretty important right there. So that may be something that you want to keep in mind of. Let's go to Southwest Recovery. Southwest Recovery Services Inc. They're pretty big too. And let's look at credit reporting. All accounts placed with Southwest Recovery Services Inc. will be reported to all three nationwide credit reporting agencies, which is the big three: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All accounts will be reported and updated as no cost to you. We have automated this process to maximize the return on your accounts. Now, this is pretty informative right here. Once placed on the debtor's credit, we will not negotiate a settlement. So they don't do debt settlement. They don't negotiate for a lower amount than what is owed. But here's the kicker right here. They must pay in full to have it removed from their permanent credit file. So they're willing to do something called pay for deletion. If you pay them in full, they'll remove it and you can negotiate it that way. I'm sure you've all seen AFNI. They've popped up recently a lot here lately, so they're probably increasing their portfolio a little bit more. But we're going to look at this right here, call execution. What they actually do is negotiating with debtors is the moment of truth, quote unquote. We demonstrate our superior ability to capitalize on these moments with a unique call handling approach, setting the tone of urgency. They gotta tell you, hurry up and pay, hurry up and pay. You know, maintaining control of the conversation and being persistent. So that's something that they offer. Ongoing analytics, it's just they have access to the information about the progress of collections for their clients. And when collection companies are talking about clients, they're not talking about consumers like you and I. They're actually talking about big companies. They're collecting for companies. So, the original creditor is what they're collecting for. They also offer debt purchase. They have experienced staffing, multiple consumer collection channels. They're just talking about, how they collect or how they obtain the money, treatment strategies, so on and so forth. Segmentation and scoring. You are able to segment your portfolio in more sophisticated ways to maximize collection opportunities, so on and so forth. Let's go to professional finance company. I'm sure you've heard them talk about, or I'm sure you've seen them, PFC. They've been around a while, and they're pretty good too. A lot of times PFC has their stuff in order. One thing I wanted to highlight here is their collection strategy. We listen first and calling customers or gaining customers' confidence. Um, I thought this was kind of funny. You can go to their website, professionalfinancecompany.com, and actually look under their collection section. But I wanted to point something out because I just saw this on there and while I was reading. This right here, collectors accomplish this by treating your customers with dignity and respect. Now, I don't know about you, but anytime I've dealt with a collection company, I have definitely not been treated with dignity and respect. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Their collectors are trained to be effective listeners, so on and so forth. So the third-party contingency collection service. This is all the services that they provide, which is nice. They even have in-house attorneys and litigation department, online account management. So they offer a lot of services to their clients. And remember, when I say clients, I'm talking about customer or big companies, not consumers. I'm sure everyone has seen this on their credit reports one time or another, or if you haven't, that is great. NCO Financial, they're a huge one. I mean, they are absolutely huge, and they offer collection services, debt recovery, and collection solutions. Help businesses process by increasing recovered funds. They interact with debtors using various methods. They also do credit bureau reporting. Um, One thing I wanted to point out right here is NCO uses credit bureau reporting as a debt recovery and credit collection tool. So anytime a debt is reported on your credit report, that is a collection company's attempt to collect on that debt. So keep in mind that if that debt is no longer valid, or or it's not accurate, by the collection company reporting that debt on your report, it is their attempt to collect on a debt. Especially, you've got a surefire way to get that deletion off of there from a collection company, especially if the debt has been taken care of with the original creditor, because then at that point the debt is no longer valid, and the collection company is attempt to collect by reporting an invalid debt. So just keep that in mind. That's a little tidbit of information nugget right there for you. They also offer skip tracing and whatnot. We're going to move on to Jefferson Capital Systems. I'm sure you've heard of them before, but they're pretty big, and I just wanted to highlight a service that they advocate in their whole little organization, and that's this MasterCard. And is what it is. The debt that they purchase, they transfer that debt, or they give the consumer an option to transfer that debt over to a credit card. Now the irony is that they're a debt collector, but they also offer this credit card as a means to rebuild the consumer's credit. So they take the debt that is owed, and if it's okay with the consumer, and the consumer has to agree to this, but they'll take that amount, transfer it on this credit card, and allow you to make monthly payments to pay down that debt. All the while, that credit card is reporting on your credit as a revolving line of credit. So it's actually it's so as you can see why I say it's a double-edged sword. You got a debt collection on your credit report, but you also get this revolving line of credit in the amount of the debt or of the debt that's being owed. So you're making payments. It's reporting to the credit bureaus as a positive account that you're making payments. Um, Moving forward, though, I wanted to talk about uh, blocks of debt, how collection companies actually acquire, and that was the third one. How do they acquire accounts? Well, Jefferson Capital actually purchases what's called blocks of debt, as most collection companies do. So when they purchase this amount of debt, you may be thinking, well, they just bought my account individually. Well, no, that's not the case. Is what they do is big companies that have massive amounts of debt, and I mean massive amounts of debt. They've written them off. They've done a profit and loss on them. The debt is uncollectible. Well, is what they do is they contact a collection company, and I'm just using Jefferson Capital Systems because they've actually uh, posted this for the public to see. So that's why I'm going to go through here. So if you and I were a bank or an original creditor and we needed a collection company to collect on a block of debt for us, they have this little application. We just type in the name of our company, address, so on and so forth. But right here, we would select the type of account. If it's auto, credit card, healthcare installment, telecom, payday loan, line of credit, direct deposit advance, so on and so forth. But check this out. Please select the size of the portfolio. So the minimum that they have, is up to $5 million. So it's from, 0 all the way up to $5 million, $5 million to 20 million, all the way up to 500 million plus. So let's just say this. Most collection companies, depending on the age of the account, how old it is or how new it is, purchase this debt at different rates. They want to know, if it's an old account, if it's super old, or if it's new. So they may purchase this debt, between a fraction of a cent on the dollar all the way up to 15 cents on a dollar, just depending on, how old and how new. But once they do that, if they collect, let's just throw 5 million out here, right here. If they purchase this $5 million worth block of debt for say $100,000, and they're successful at collecting 100% of this, that means that they've made a wonderful profit. And as you can imagine, collection companies are very profitable at what they do. You know, uh, and then moving forward, they want to know the age of the debt. We just got done talking about that. Is it a mixture? Is it old debt or is it new debt? Is it a percentage? The asking price. How much are we asking? We just type in, I want, $100,000 for this debt, or, I type in a percentage. Say I want, 15%. I've already written it off. I've lost. I'll take anything. And then, of course, right here, they say, please select the timeline desired for closing. Meaning how soon do we want to make this deal or the sale? Is it really important? So on and so forth, or is it not that important? Okay. So I hope that allowed you to kind of see what services they provide, how they acquire debt, and you know, and allowed you to learn a little bit more about collection companies and services that they offer and actually how they acquire debts. So I hope this was informative to you. As always, empower yourself, educate yourself, and take action. Jeremy Hudson here with H&I Credit Solutions. Have a wonderful day.